Today we're talking about the Bechdel Test, also called the Male Movie Measure. It's a test devised to measure gender bias in film. The test originated in 1985 when cartoonist Alison Bechdel featured it in her comic strip Dykes to Watch Out For, crediting her friend Liz Wallace for the idea. In it, a woman explains that she'll only watch a movie if it meets certain criteria, which gives us the rule. Passing the test requires that the movie have at least 2 women in it who talk to each other about something other than a man. Now, we're not saying that this is a measure of a film's quality or level of feminist point of view, but you'd be surprised how many popular films don't pass. We're using the Bechdel test to argue that the marginalization of women is so deeply ingrained into our culture that we no longer notice it, and therefore do not work to change it. Films that do not pass the Bechdel test trivialize the roles of women in society and discredit their ideas.
You might assume that not many films fail this test in the 21st century, but even the most famous blockbusters often find themselves unable to put Bechdel's criteria together to make a film that earns a passing grade. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 allows its female characters nothing more than throwaway lines, despite the Potter series' reputation for featuring many strong female leads.
Not my daughter, you bitch!
This short clip is representative of the lines given to women throughout the film. Mrs. Weasley is technically conversing with another woman, but it is more of a one-liner than a real conversation. While you might want to chalk this anomaly up to the complexities of the action genre, which often puts emphasis on explosions rather than conversation, action blockbusters can pass the test. The Bourne Legacy features a few scenes where female agents, doctors, and handlers communicate with each other about missions and personal information.
I really think that's what it shows. You are asking all the wrong questions.
What should I be asking, Marta?
Has anyone looked at Dr. Foyt's blood work? Have they? I mean, that is the only thing that is going to make any sense here. His behavior was... Look, there are projects at Starrison, defense projects that could explain...
Though the shooter in question was a male co-worker, the focus of this conversation is on Dr. Shearing's health, her important work with the U.S. government, and the repercussions that work could have for the world. Movies that portray themselves as inspirational to young women can end up offering very few examples of rational conversation between 2 female characters.
Okay, so I'll be looking at the movies Tangled and Brave. Both have leading females and their mother figures. The plot of Tangled boils down to a girl escapes current life with the help of a male figure. This film actually does pass the Bechdel test because of a conversation between Rapunzel and Mother Gothel, in which Rapunzel asks to see the floating lights. Of course, since Mother Gothel needs Rapunzel's magical, youth-granting, healing hair, she refuses this request. They later go into a song that briefly mentions men as ruffians and sharp-toothed, but again, it's not part of the initial conversation and merely the song and dance routine. Brave's plot is, at its base, very similar to Tangled, but in this case the female lead character tries to escape her current situation without the aid of a male figure. It's actually to escape her marriage that's supposed to happen. It also passes the Bechdel test with one conversation in which Merida and her mother talk about her dress. That's pretty much all they talk about there. There were more than one conversations not about the male figures, but at that point it was fairly one-sided, as her mother was turned into a bear, and so they can't really count.
Gender issues in film are very similar to gender issues in other media subjects. For example, the difference between male and female journalists, as highlighted in Vanzoni's article on the gender in journalism, can be drastic. Vanzoni argues that women often get very stereotypical assignments, which relegate them to marginal areas of journalism. Female characters in film are also relegated to roles that portray them as soft, beautiful, inferior, cooperative, head over heels for men, and talkative, while their male counterparts are powerful, strong, and athletic. The Bechdel test allows consumers to put out these underrepresentations and brings sexist behavior that has been normalized throughout the decades to the public eye.
Well, she told me to think, 'cause she's got her own shame.